Today is the day we are cutting into the turbo Eunos.
If you haven't seen the previous video of the absolute nightmare I had getting the boosted Eunos to the unit, I highly suggest you go back and watch it to A, see how much trouble this car is causing me already, and B, to see just how bad the rust is on this thing. Not long after the initial inspection, Stu and I wasted no time in getting the Eunos stripped down to really see what we are dealing with. Me, of course, taking the easy bits, and Stu definitely taking care of the more difficult bits.
Oh, it's painful.
I know that may seem excessive, but the wing was rusted on and all the mounting points will be addressed anyway. Guessing that front wing hasn't been off in a long time. I probably should say at this point, another reason we're stripping everything off the car is we have some crazy ideas for some custom aerodynamic modifications. With the primary purpose of the Eunos being a track car, we're going to go with a time attack inspired theme that will look crazy but also be completely functional.
So I was just saying to Stu, this is one of the reasons I love stripping down the cars, and I had two Mx5s to choose from, and I keep saying I think I've made the right choice. Just seeing little bits like this, yeah, there's a bit of surface rust, but I mean, so far, touch wood, so good. It is pretty solid. So coming around to the front now, I'm seeing this O2 familiar sign. Mx5 stripped down. Fair play to Stu, this took him a matter of minutes. He managed to get the bumper off, the wing, and everything. Pretty much before I got the rear bumper off. But even on the inner wings now, as you can see, this was left out in the rain, so we've got a bit of surface rust. But I mean, this part here is pretty solid. And even behind the other wing we couldn't see there, although there's a lot of stuff. I am happy with how this looks at the moment.
I may have spoken too soon as we then encountered our first seized bolt. Luckily, Stu is no stranger to stubborn fixings and just plows on.
Snap. Welcome to MX5 life. Stu, if you're still my friend after this, I will be amazed.
We had a few more stubborn bolts that required some persuasion.
Mint. Looks like something off a lifeboat. So that is what the MX5 looks like. God, that looks bare. But again, am I right in saying that's pretty clean for an MX5, yeah? Again, God, yeah, I am very, very happy. Ah, what a good day.
After removing all the panels not needed at the moment, we offered up the replacement panels to see how far off the fitment would be. What you are seeing here is the replacement outer sill, lower rear quarter section and inner wheel arch repair panel, all very common rust areas on MX5/Eunos. The bar you see stretching across where the door would normally be is to maintain the structural integrity of the car to ensure everything lines up properly when the door goes back on. We've barely started digging in and this is already the pile of metal that's come off this car. This is potentially one of the most important parts, the inner sill. The inner sill plays a vital role in keeping the structural integrity of the car intact, and as you can see, it's pretty rotten. The inner sills were the only pieces that weren't available to order at the time, but thankfully the boys got creative. I told them the car was going to be used on tracks, so they went above and beyond and created these race car inspired inner sills. Just look at them. As well as the inner sills, the boys had to fabricate some floor sections too. The floor pan was a lot more rotten than we initially thought. With their work clearly cut out for them, Stu and Karl jacked the car up ready to begin this gargantuan task.
You'll be very happy to know Kenny is joining us today. He's back. There's so much to go through. Well, Kenny hasn't seen the car at all.
No, I haven't. I haven't even seen it.
No, now the boys are working on it as we speak. But let's go and take a look. These boys don't waste time. So we've been in work today and they're already at it. I want to get Kenny's reaction because this is the first time he's pretty much seen the car.
They're the brave souls by it.
Yep. I haven't even introduced you, but first of all, you got bits there, bits there. God. You wouldn't believe how far back they've had to cut. Yeah, well, yeah, you would.
You don't like good ones.
Again, wasting no time, the boys continue cutting out all the old rusty metal. You need to get rid of all the rotten metal in order to find somewhere strong to work from, and if you don't eliminate all the rust, it will come back just as quick. You can see Karl here test fitting one of the floor pan sections. Call me easily pleased, but it amazes me how they can create custom sections out of a sheet of metal. Here's a better illustration of the outer sill, rear quarter lower section and the custom inner sill. Now this may sound obvious, but I can't believe how much measuring and precise work goes into ensuring each section matches the next. I really have gained a new respect for panel beaters and fabricators. Here is the first test fit of the inner sill, and I have to say, I think it was at this point that it all started to feel real. Ever since I can remember, I've dreamed of building one of my cars in this much depth, and it's thanks to people like Karl and Stu that this dream is now becoming a reality. Every crazy idea I've thrown at them, they've not only gone along with, but actually given me advice on how to make them better. As you may remember, my front wings are pretty far gone, so I ordered brand new front wings that we're gonna cut up anyway. Yes, that was a painful purchase. Again, the fitment on the front wings was way better than we all thought, which is always a bonus, and I have to say I was getting a little bit excited to see it looking like a car again. Let's just take a moment and appreciate how all these custom fabricated parts are starting to look on the car, especially the inner sill. Seeing a spot welded in place, it seems a real shame that no one's going to see this beautiful piece. There were talks of somehow fitting a see-through sill, but that conversation ended quickly. I want to go OTT with protecting this newly installed metal, so you can see here the boys have coated the inner sill. This part is interesting. The replacement sill only goes up so far, forcing you to work from the original metalwork. The top of the outer sill will then be spot welded. With loads of work still to do on the car, another set of hands turned up. Tom got straight to work on prepping the front quarter ready for rust treatment. The first step is to clean all the dirt and grime off the panel before sanding it. And of course, having a little dance to celebrate. With our Landau track day coming up, Ben is also working tirelessly to get his E36 up and running. Luckily, my other Mx5 is pretty much ready. The next step in the rust treatment process is applying rust converter. Rust converters are basically a chemical solution that turns rust into an adherent surface or layer. Whilst I had the bonnet open, I began with a minor modification of removing the charcoal canister and module. I'm doing this as the charcoal canister isn't essential for the function of the car and is actually exactly where I want to mount my oil catch can. During this time, Stu finished welding up the rear quarter, and just look how solid this thing is now. This is how she sits at the moment. Bearing in mind this video was done over a few different evenings, over a few weeks actually. We had a few setbacks, stuff that was out of our control, but we really are trying to gain traction now. I'm really going to get stuck in, so the updates will be coming more regularly. So quickly under the bonnet, charcoal canister removed, because that's where I'm going to put my catch can, because I really don't like the idea of a filter there, your crankcase breather filter, potentially dripping onto a boiling hot manifold. I don't like that, so that's going to change. Massive thank you to Tom for prepping this area. Now the next step with this is going to be sanding it back and primering, and obviously painting that as well, raptoring it. So Tom, massive thanks for that. You may notice this part is looking a bit bare. I am filming a few videos at once, because like most cars, project cars, this has gone from welding in some new sills to, if we're taking it apart, we might as well restore everything. So I've got a bit carried away with it, but I will keep you updated as best I can. But look at this. Now, ever since I've owned this car, you guys will remember it didn't even have sills. So seeing it like this at the moment, and just, oh, it's so nice. I know that sounds daft, but I am so happy. Stu, thank you so much, man. I know I keep saying it, but Stu and Karl, they're just absolute legends and basically making my dream come true. So massive thanks for seeing it all spot welded. Stu did say there's a few little teeny bits he wants to do, but his words, he reckons it's about 98% complete on this side, not including the protection and the paint and everything like that. And the progress, gotta say a big hats off to Karl, because while Stu was finishing that off, Tom was doing that, I was doing the charcoal canister, Karl was over here cutting into the other side, and it's really not as bad as we thought. Nowhere near as bad as the other side, but don't worry, we are still going to fit the custom inner sill. This side is going to be getting the same treatment, but it's just amazing to see it
it's all happening, guys. It's all happening. But that should pretty much do it for this update. Like I said, I will try and keep you guys updated because once the metalwork is done, that's when the fun starts. We've got so many crazy ideas. We are going for like a time attack theme, and some of Stu's ideas already and Karl's are just crazy. So stick with us. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Boom.